Hello and welcome to my dungeon. In the last few weeks I've played through The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I can honestly say it's a masterpiece of open world sandbox adventure design. And I think that many of the great ideas and concepts you can find in this game can be easily adapted to a tabletop RPG with a bit of tweaking, especially when it comes to exploration, puzzle design and crafting. So if you are running any kind of sandbox campaign, here is what you should steal from Tears of the Kingdom. If this interests you, consider liking it down below and subscribing on my channel. Thank you. Now let's get started. As a creator of a sandbox game, you quickly run into a fundamental problem. How do the players find all of the cool stuff that I've put in my world? Unless you're improvising it all on the fly. And if you are, I've got some ideas for you later in the video too. Tears of the Kingdom does a fantastic job of guiding the player to its hidden dungeons and secrets without removing the challenge completely. If you make exploration too easy and, for example, give the players an automap full of map markers that point to every piece they could find, it makes exploring the world just a chore, just working through a checklist, rather than a journey of discovery and wonder. Instead, Zelda relies on hints and clues that guide the player without robbing the sense of wonder and accomplishment. These hints can be roughly put into three categories: out of sight and far away, signs in the distance, and hints in the immediate area. Out of sight and far away should be familiar to any GM. Zelda uses quests and rumors to point the player in the right direction. These can be part of a larger story, but they don't have to be. Sometimes they are rumors you hear from someone. Sometimes they read in a newspaper. Gossip and rumors are easily picked up in a town square or tavern. There should always be travelers and other adventurers around these places that can tell of faraway places they have been to, and after a few beers they might share the legends of the places they are currently looking for. Or maybe the PCs find a treasure map. More important news might be proclaimed by a town crier, or by a boy selling newspapers yelling, "Special issue, special issues, orcs have conquered Minas Tirith," or whatever. And of course, the most important locations and events in your world should be important to the characters inhabiting it. So important that they will hire adventurers to go there and do something. Signs in the distance is something that characters will notice while traveling. That might be an interesting looking landmark, a castle on a hill, a giant skull, a sacred shrine, and so on. The biggest of these landmarks can be seen many miles away. In game terms, they can be seen from adjacent hacks or even further away. They need to not only provide the hint that something interesting might be there, but also the nature of whatever that might be. Might spot the tallest tower of a castle, or the smoke rising from the chimneys of a village. A dungeon or other mystical location might be spotted by unusual influence on its surroundings, like strange weather phenomena or different kind of terrain or vegetation. Smaller hints might point to places of interest within the same hex, like the smoke rising from a campfire, the sound of rushing water, or crows circling above the site of a recent battle. And once you get close to the hidden points of interest, there are immediate hints you can follow. Zelda might actually go a bit too far with their hints here. For example, when there is a cave somewhere, a glowing, rabbit-like creature will stand near it out in the open and run towards it to just vanish in the entrance once you approach. But Zelda uses other, less obvious signs as well, and you can too. Occasionally there will be a swarm of bats, for example, taking flight or return to a cave. If there's a dungeon, there might be someone or something living in there. Hunters or patrols might come and go from there. Wood might be cut in the vicinity, there might be tracks and trails leading to it. Or if the site is only inhabited by ghosts and the undead, then maybe there's a strange absence of birds. Suddenly the forest falls completely silent, and the trees start growing crooked. There might be strange ghost lights wandering over the site during the night. Just think about how the site and its inhabitants are interacting with their surrounding and what signs they might be leaving behind. Now, if you are improvising your world as the party goes along, you can use this approach to structure your adventure. Start by introducing a few rumors and quest hooks and see what sticks with the party. Then, when they go out searching for these places, come up with a few landmarks and signs in the distance for them to follow. And once they follow one of these signs, then it's time to start thinking about where those signs might actually be pointing. As the group gets closer to the sign they are following, start to come up with more immediate hints. Let them find tracks. Are they of people or are they of a creature? What were they doing? What tracks did they leave behind? Finally, once they're following these tracks, reveal what you just came up with, be it the bandit's keep or the Hydra's lair. One aspect I especially enjoy in Tears of the Kingdom is the puzzle design. Basically, the game gives you the ability to combine and build stuff out of items you can find in the world, be it a mushroom, a tree, the horn of a monster, or an ancient contraption. And then they present you with various obstacles, be it a closed door, tall walls, powerful monsters, or just a flowing river. And to me, that makes these puzzles engineering challenges. What kind of machine, what kind of contraption can I build to solve this problem? The challenge here is often not if you can solve a puzzle, but how much time, tinkering, and material it will take you to do so. An elegant solution might be fast and use little to no consumable items. But sometimes you just have to brute force a challenge, throwing as many attempts, material, and consumables at it as it takes. The idea to steal here is that you don't have to come up with solutions to your puzzles, and even if you do, you should be open to the out-of-the-box ideas that your group comes up with. Just give the PCs tools to interact with the game world and let them come up with a unique, if not necessarily elegant, solution. And in a fantasy RPG, these tools will literally be like a saw, hammer, nails. And in a fantasy RPG, this will be literal tools like a saw, hammer, nails, and magic artifacts and spells. Once I presented my players with a castle that was protected by a water and monster-filled moat. The problem was that the drawbridge had long rotten away. The solution my players eventually came up with, while not elegant, totally worked. They used some wood from nearby ruined structures and trees and constructed a new improvised bridge across the moat. Tears of the Kingdom goes so far as to extend the free combination ability to all of your gear. Want to combine an apple with the sword? You can totally do that. Flamethrower on a shield? Why not? What this does is that you wonder about the potential uses of everything you find in the world. Every rock, plant, mushroom, artifact, or part of a monster. You will ask yourself, will this be good as the tip of a spear? Will it be good ammunition for my bow? What effect does this have on a certain type of monster? Can I cook something with it or brew some medicine? And in my experience, that is something that players love. As soon as they kill their first dragon, you can be certain they will try to craft armor from the scales and weapons from the claws and teeth. It just makes the equipment more personal and fun if the characters make it themselves from the parts of their slain foes. Ask any Monster Hunter player. I think I did a video on just this concept a year ago. Let me put a link somewhere here. All you have to do as a GM really is to be open to the ideas of your players. Are those teeth of the Smilodon we just killed long enough to be used as weapons? Sure, why not? Maybe not as a sword, but a dagger or arrow tip. Can I extract the poison glands of the basilisk we just fought? Sure, give me a survival check to see if you can extract them without poisoning yourself. And if you want to encourage this kind of gameplay and interaction with the game world, you can steal another idea from Zelda. In Tears of the Kingdom, almost every weapon you find is a rusty piece of crap. And only by combining it with other items and different monster parts do they become decent or actually powerful. Moreover, weapons eventually break and need to be replaced. This makes you go out and hunt more powerful monsters so you can get good parts to make weapons and armor from. You will always appreciate it if you find powerful parts that you can use to craft with later. Actually, Zelda is a bit too generous with weapons and items for my taste. It's more of a challenge if you have to save your good weapon for hard encounters and use your crap stick with the monster horn as a tip for more standard fights. Because you just don't know when the next opportunity to make a good weapon again will be. The idea here is to restrict access to good items or even standard items. If you can just buy anything you need, up to plate armor and magic items in a town shop, then there's little motivation to make this stuff yourself. But if all of the material is rare, if a town can be lucky to have a blacksmith that can produce horseshoes at all, then suddenly the carapace of an insect monster that the PCs killed starts looking like it might make for a good breastplate. Take this idea to the extreme and you end up with a setting like Dark Sun. On Arthas, metals are so rare that most weapons are made from bone, stone or wood, and there's a good chance with every hit that they will come apart in your hand. In a world like this, a simple steel sword will feel like a magic item, a fucking Excalibur. Anyhow, that's what I stole from Tears of the Kingdom. For now, I bid thee farewell, dreamers, until we shall meet again. Today I'm going to sit here and drink coffee, and you can watch me live now on my OnlyFans. So good. Yeah, I really needed that coffee.